Hi, everybody. Welcome again to another edition of the Whatever Show. The Whatever Show is the St. Petersburg-Clearwater Film Commission podcast. I'm Tony Armour, Film Commissioner for St. Pete-Clearwater, Florida, and one of my guests today is Joe Restaino, who is the Programming Director for the Sunscreen Film Festival.
Oh. Well, thank you, Tony. It's
Joe,
good to be here.
Thanks for being on our humble little show here. So today's show, we're just going to focus on a couple of things, really. A little bit later, Jacob Pierce from the Film Commission office is going to come on, and he's going to give some tips and tricks about doing time-lapse video. But the main focus of the show today is going to be talking about the upcoming 12th annual Sunscreen Film Festival. So Sunscreen is a film festival. Obviously, it takes place in St. Pete here, going into our 12th year now, and this is Joe's first year as a programming director. Really excited to have him on board. He's been doing an amazing job so far.
Oh yeah, it's been a great experience so far, and we have a huge programming team where I think there's about 40 screeners that are watching over 700 films this year. We have my partner in crime is Wei Lin, who's the senior programmer. I think we've done probably 7 different festivals in different countries as well together where we've programmed, and it's just kindred spirits. We all get together and talk about all the films, and people are fighting for some of their films to be in, and we've narrowed those 700 films down to I think 125 that we're going to be screening this year at the festival.
125 is still a lot of movies.
It's a ton of movies.
And how many of that 125, how many are shorts and how many are features?
There's 36 features, which are documentaries and narrative, and then there's about 90 short films over 4 days. So it's jam-packed.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going some days 10 a.m. to midnight.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something for everybody.
Yeah, that's a lot of movies. Well, let's talk about some of the highlights for this year. I know we've got some really cool films and some great guests and everything. So if we could bring up sort of that highlight screen and talk about some of the ones we got here this year. So tell me a little bit about what's going on. What are some of these films?
Well, I'll tell you first is I'm getting this year. It's funny because I've been programming for a while. So us program directors, we travel to different festivals together: Sundance, Tribeca, Santa Barbara, and so I know a lot of these guys all over the place. I've gotten more texts and emails this year about how people are excited about this program. Where it's like, wow, what you guys pulled off is pretty amazing. And I'm most excited. I mean, opening night sets the tone for a film festival, and having a film with it's called Blind, directed by Michael Mailer, who has been a long-time producer, has done some great films as a producer. This is his first feature as a director. His brother, John Buffalo Mailer, wrote the script, which is all great films start with a great story. And this also has great talent, where you have Alec Baldwin, Demi Moore, and Dylan McDermott coming. Dylan will be here opening night with Michael, with a film that's premiering. The Florida premiere will be here at Sunscreen, and it's a very beautiful film, great story, and I really think it's gonna get people excited about seeing more films throughout the festival.
Yeah, there's been some great buzz so far. That's all I'm hearing is people, on Facebook and social media. It's literally been blowing up. People are just really excited about the festival this year, which is great. And something really cool too is that along with Blind, like you said, Dylan McDermott's going to be here. We've got his web series Sugar. When you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I feel like with festivals, it's always a great thing to reach out into the community and work with other organizations. So in this one, we're working with Ringling College, which is a renowned film school in Sarasota, and they produced Sugar, where Dylan McDermott wrote it and directed, which is a web series, TV kind of episodic film, and he'll be here kicking off the festival with showing his 20 minutes of his pilot, and that's it's just a way to engage different organizations in the community.
And it's cool to have him here, the fact that he's coming and promoting not just Blind, the opening night film that he's in, but Sugar, the web series he produced and directed. And like you said, Ringling is always rated as one of the top 25 film schools in the country every year. And I think most people don't even know. Little Ringling, Sarasota, Florida, one of the top 25 film schools in the country, which is amazing.
They've worked on so many Academy Award-winning films, like Hero, the film a couple years ago that won. Their students are doing incredible things.
Yeah, their animation students come out of there and they go straight to Pixar. I mean, they're top notch.
Well, it was we had Dylan come in because Ringling wanted to premiere with the festival. They wanted to premiere Sugar, so it was a perfect fit to also get Blind, which it just doesn't normally work out that way in film festival world, where you have like a great actor come in and then you're like, okay, let's set it up with opening night film as well. So, and Ringland has been great to work with to make all this happen as well.
Yeah, so you got opening night, and then sort of to bookend the whole thing, we've got closing night with a really great like fantasy action adventure film called Albion. I think you know a little bit about this film. Why don't you tell us why you know about this film and what's going on with this one?
Yeah, I don't like to toot my own horn or anything too much, but this is a film that I'm very intimate about because I produced it with several other people. It's called Albion, the Enchanted Stallion. We shot about a week or two in Florida, actually. Not these scenes that you'll see here. These were mostly done in Bulgaria. The whole crew went over there for about 6 to 8 weeks, I think, and we brought in some amazing actors. We have Deborah Messin.
Some great scenery. You don't get that in Florida.
It's not Florida.
Yeah.
The film actually will be released about a few days after the festival, and then it goes to Netflix in July.
That's awesome.
So all this stuff is natural scenes in Bulgaria. John Cleese, it's a good friend of mine, Liam McIntyre, who's Spartacus on the Star show. It's just a beautiful story for all ages. I mean, it's a fantasy film, original script, and it's just, we're excited to get it out there and bring it really home to Florida. So many people here want to see it on the big screen, so that was kind of like, it's fitting to have it here as well. Yeah,
no, that's great. We're looking forward to wrapping up the festival with this film. I think everybody likes that sort of, it's I guess you wouldn't call it Lord of the Rings, but that's how people think of it now. It's almost that Robin Hood, Lord of the Rings, Enchanted Forest.
Yeah, we've been saying the whole time it's Wizard of Oz meets Game of Thrones.
Okay, there you go.
So if that is there's no death though. But
that's a good mashup there. Yeah. That's a good mashup. Well, what else do we have? I know we've got some other feature films throughout the festival. Actually, there's another one that's really cool that I'm looking forward to seeing. Carter in June. Mm-hmm. So Carter in June, up in the other corner there.
Fun film, definitely. Genre film, action, some comedy as well. It's just one of those. We're doing it Friday night, and I think it's like the prime spot on Friday, and all these. There's like I think a dozen people from the film coming. At least it's the world premiere of the movie.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the way that this film came about, I was in Berlin at the Berlin Film Festival, and I ran into Sean Covell, one of the producers of this film, who is one of the producers from Napoleon Dynamite. And we had Sean at Sunscreen back in 2010, and we were chatting. I said, well, what are you doing here in Berlin? And he's like, oh, we're selling our film Carter in June, and it hasn't come out yet or anything. And he was telling me about it, and it sounded really cool. And then, a month or so later, he shoots me an email and says, hey, can we do the world premiere at Sunscreen? I was like, that sounds like fun. And now they're literally bringing in, the writer, the director, like 3 producers, cinematographer. The top 3 cast are all coming in. Michael Raymond James, Timothy Omenson, Samara Armstrong, all, really well-known TV series regulars on, Once Upon a Time or Ben and Jack Reacher. So all of the cast is going to be here. It's going to be a really fun, Friday night primetime film. So then sort of following up from Carter in June as the primetime film on Friday night, we have a 30th anniversary outdoor screening of Spaceballs, which the great thing about that is Daphne Zuniga from the film is going to be here. She's in another film at the festival as well, a new film that she's in, but she's going to be here for this outdoor screening at the Museum of Fine Arts. And then anybody that has a day pass, a VIP pass, filmmaker badge, anything like that, you'll be able to come in for the filmmaker party at the Museum of Fine Arts, and Daphne is going to do a 30-minute Q&A talking about the film and her career so far.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot of attention. I think it's time for them to make another Spaceballs, because I think, and you look at a lot of these '80s movies. I think our generation is like wanting to see this stuff again.
Yeah.
So having Daphne, it all came about because I do a lot of programming with the Film Fatale, which is a large female filmmaker supportive group that promotes female filmmaker like directors, their films. So I reached out to them, and they sent me a movie called Those Left Behind, where Daphne's the lead. And I was like, what? This isn't crazy. I looked up Space. I always look up what she's been doing and all that. And I saw it was the 30th anniversary of Spaceballs, and I like to have those retrospective screenings. And I just reached out to her team, and they're like, yes, she'd love to come. And she's been great. She's very excited about it. She wanted to come in the day before to prep for Spaceballs, I guess. So,
and that's so crazy because it's good to have an actor who appreciates their past and doesn't, isn't like, Spaceballs, I don't want anything to do with that film. I don't want to talk about it. Don't tell me about it. Because some actors will be that way where, I did that 30 years ago. I don't want to hear anything about it. And then in other instances, you have, Daphne, who's really excited for it.
Oh yeah, it's really, it's one of those. I grew up in that generation, so we just told her to make sure she leaves her blow dryer at home. Princess Vespa cannot bring that. But yeah, we're excited about it. It's gonna be a fun night for sure. And again, it's just like sets the tone of the festival. I think the people that come in from out of town are just gonna be, enjoy what's going on here.
Well, and we've got some other great films too. So there's Created Equal with Bill Duke, who I think a lot of people will remember Bill Duke from Predator, and he was the guy with the razor. I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun.
I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun.
I don't know how many people like during the festival will probably come up to him and be like, "I'm going to have me some fun," and or want him to say that line or something.
Yeah.
But he's a very accomplished director and has been directing for a lot of years.
And I didn't even really know that as much. I looked that up too, and I know him from those movies like Action Jackson as well, and other great films that he was in. And then I realized he directed Sister Act 2.
Yeah.
It was like,
isn't that
wow.
crazy?
Yeah, there's and he's done a lot of others as well. So this was a film with Created Equal is with Lou Diamond Phillips and Eddie Ganem and Aaron Tveit, who's actually going to be in Tampa the next night doing his musical act at the Strat Center. So it's we're trying to see if we can finagle a way for him to show up as well. But it's a world premiere of the film as well. Yeah. And these the producer Theta has been great to get everyone excited to come, and they're doing a lot of publicity for us. Lou wants to be here. He's just shooting Longmire, where he cannot get away, but he would, they're very all supportive of this film. I mean, it's a great story, and the writer will be here as well for the movie.
Yeah, and that's what makes festivals so much fun and so different from just a movie comes out at the theater and you go see it at the theater and you enjoy it and you go home. It's like, when you go to a film festival, there's the writer, there's the director, there are the actors from the movies, and they can actually talk about the film afterwards. You're seeing it before it comes out in theaters. I mean, there's a reason there are 5,000 film festivals worldwide, and film festivals have been going on for years and years and years, and that they stay still such a strong part of kind of the business and everything.
Oh yeah, I mean, you remember when the first thing I did with Sunscreen was we I think it was October, it was October. We did a special screening of Moonlight.
Yeah.
And this was before all the hype of potential. And we had one of the leading actors in the film, Andre Holland, here, where we put that up and it was reserved the full house in less than 48 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you have a chance, like you said, to meet one of the actors or directors or the people involved in making it, it just creates a whole different experience. And even now, months later, people that still talk about they got to see Moonlight here before,
and with one of the actors from the film.
So a lot of times these films, I'm really Blind without the opening night film. I'm convinced. Alec does an amazing job in that leading role. Where if Vertical, who's the distributor, releases the right way, that could potentially be award discussion. He does not play it like Donald Trump, but he's amazing in the performance. So it's a lot of you never know with these films that you see where they're going to go.
Yeah. So another thing that I'm really excited about this year are not only the great films and the guests that are going to be here for the films, but some of the guests that we actually have. So Joe Pantoliano and Robert Davi are two actors that the Film Commission is bringing in that are going to be here for almost the entire week, doing a lot of media and press leading up to the festival. And these guys have been in the business forever. Robert Davi, he's got his documentary Davi's Way that he's going to be screening at the festival. And he's been in Goonies as the opera singing bad guy, and he's been the main bad guy in License to Kill, James Bond film from 1989. He's been in a million things. Joe Pantoliano from Sopranos and Matrix and everything else. So those two guys are both actually going to be doing a conversation with, just a sit down with Steve Persall, who's the film critic for the Tampa Bay Times, and just talking about their careers and their lives. And we're giving these two guys awards at the festival this year. Robert Davi's getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, and then Joe Pantoliano is going to be getting a Legacy Award, which is kind of the same thing as a Lifetime Achievement Award, but you can't call them both Lifetime Achievement Awards.
Well-deserved awards. I'm curious, have they worked together since Goonies, on the same project?
I don't think so.
Yeah?
I don't think so. It'll be fun to get those
Yeah.
two together in a room.
Oh yeah, man. Hearing some stories about that, because I mean, again, Goonies, one of the classics from the '80s, and these guys, everyone will remember them
Yeah.
as the bad boy brothers from that film.
And we wanted
Yeah.
to do a retrospective screening of Goonies this year, since both of them were going to be here. It'd
Yeah,
be
it's
perfect.
Yeah.
But apparently, there's a Goonies remake in the works, and so the studio wouldn't allow us to screen the film. So, bad news, we couldn't screen the film. Good news, there's a Goonies remake in the works. Maybe.
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see if it's good.
Is there a
news.
Goonies sequel?
We'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But we got some other great guests this year as well. You want to talk about some of the other guests we've got coming?
Yeah, up in the upper right over here, we have Mendoza from Orange is the New Black, Selena Slava coming in she, to Florida premiere her movie I Can, I Will, I Did. It's funny, the night before, she won't be at it, but they're world premiering it at the LA Asian Film Festival.
Huh.
And then the director and producer is flying in here right first thing in the morning for this. But Salinas is coming in. She's real excited about seeing the film and being a part of the festival. We also have her on a couple workshops, and one that there's a woman in film brunch Saturday that is, I think it's already booked up.
It might be. Yeah, it might be already filled. It was limited to 50 people, and people have been RSVPing like crazy for that already.
And we have, with her on that panel, and we have Daphne Zaniga on the panel as well, and some other guests. I mean, it's a nice, diverse group of guests we have. All different, whether it's actors, directors, writers, bigger stars and newer stars, and all that. So it's spread out.
Yeah, and Timothy Omenson, we talked about a little bit from, Carter in June. You scroll down a little bit more here, and you'll see, of course, Daphne Zaniga and Dylan McDermott, Michael Raymond James, who's been in, a million things, Samara Armstrong as well. Just a really great selection of guests this year, and that's not even half, that are coming in. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the workshops. So one of the things that the festival is really well known for are the quality of the industry workshops that happen. And I think this year there are 16 workshops in 4 days, which is insane. That's more than some festivals will do in a 10-day period. I don't know if Sundance does 16 workshops in 10 days, let alone 16 in 4 days. And all the people that we've been talking about, these actors, directors, celebrities, and everything like that, they'll be on these panels. They'll be, giving you information about the business, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, just like, having 125 films, having 16 workshops, it's not about the quantity necessarily, it's the quality.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, we were kind of in a position where we had so many great people coming.
Yeah.
Let's get them on something, and that was where, our Dave DeBoer, who organizes the workshops, he did a wonderful job of really getting workshops created for everyone to take part of.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, these are pros. I mean, myself, this is my first year programming the festival, but what I've always heard about Sunscreen is, the amazing job of the workshops and what you can learn from there and who you get to see.
Yeah, and that's full credit, like you said, to Dave DeBoer, who's the education director who puts these workshops together. He does a great job with that, and the workshops are always one of the most packed aspects of the festival. I mean, you'll have standing room only in these workshops to go along with full houses and films. So we're excited to see how it's going to all come together. This year. But and so besides that, there's so much going on for the festival. We actually have a great Latin component to the festival this year as well.
Oh yeah, and that's I think we have a whole team of Latin programmers and screeners led by Linda Ramirez, who just searched the whole world of the best Latin films coming out, and we got some really great ones this year. Pedros, the director, is coming in from Colombia, and this stars John Leguizamo. Yeah. And it's a very dark film. He does a wonderful job where it's throughout the film it's intense. It's a very intense film. Like I said, the director will be there to explain like how he created this world, where John is in a prison the whole time, and but it's one of those films. I watched it and I was like, wow, this is so powerful.
Did they shoot that in Colombia? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Because like I said, the director's flying up from Colombia.
Yeah. And then you keep you go down and we have is it on here? My Hindu Friend on the right is stars William Dafoe, where he goes to Brazil and he's he's dying of cancer in the film. And this is Babenco, who's a famous Brazilian director's last movie that he made. He's actually passed away.
Yeah, I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, so it's really exciting to have it's actually the U.S. premiere of the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's played in Montreal and it's played in Brazil, and I think this is one that you reached out. You connected with was it the distributor or something in Berlin?
Yeah, I met up with the distributor in Berlin, and this is one of the ones that we were looking at in Berlin, and that's where she was telling me about. This was the director's last film before he died, and this might be. I think the last film Willem Dafoe did in Brazil might have been Kiss of the Spider Woman, in the 80s, 85 or something like that, where he was in prison and played, was he a transvestite in that one? I lose track, but that was a really good film as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this Family Life, which is Vida de Familia, it played at Sundance this year and then played Miami Film Festival, and we're able to bring it in from there, and it's a very good family. Story. It's not really for families because it's like an R-rated, but it's just shows you the complexities of different families.
Yeah.
But it's a very high quality film, and that's where it's the city of the future. Those filmmakers, I'm pretty sure they're in Brazil right now making a new film.
Yeah.
They just reached out to me yesterday how excited they were about it, and
great.
They sent me because the announcement of the festival, all the lineup got announced in IndieWire, which is like a holy grail for filmmakers to get their film in there. They actually reached out to me yesterday and sent me the link like I didn't know.
Right.
Like, hey, we're in IndieWire.
By the way, we're in IndieWire.
Really? I was like, really? Wow. But so it's exciting that it's exciting to see the filmmakers excited, about their films playing.
Yeah, no, it's such a cool thing. It's amazed me for the last 12 years of doing this that my worry always was when I first started this thing was, is anybody going to show up?
Yeah.
And then, you're worried no one's going to show up, and then every year people show up. And 12 years later, I'm always still worried that no one's going to show up, but they do anyways. And I know for example, we've got, like I said, we've got filmmakers flying in from Colombia. We have filmmakers that are literally flying in from South Africa. I don't know how long it's going to take them to get here from South Africa, but they're flying in on their own from South Africa to attend the festival.
And they bought their flights before we even accepted their films, so they were like so confident. They're like, we're coming no matter what.
Yeah, well,
but the film's really good.
Yeah,
That's the Last Broken
Darkness.
Last Broken Darkness.
Yeah, and so the guys in this film, they're coming from South Africa. These are well-known South African actors who are in District 9, Chappie, all those Neil Blomquist kind of films that they've been really blowing up in South Africa. And so, we're talking a lot about the features and all this kind of stuff that's going in. We've got an awesome selection of short films coming up here. So a lot of really, really cool stuff in the short film world as well.
Yeah, again, I was talking earlier about the partnership with Ringling College, and I always like to, when I'm programming, partner with other organizations. So we're partnering with Sundance this year and showing their 2016 short film tour, which is real exciting because this is like their best selection of films, at that festival. Or at Sundance, which is the premier, U.S. film festival. So we're showing that. I think that's Saturday night, and then, we have some Florida shorts. We always like to support Florida filmmakers, and these are the best Florida shorts I think that you can, that have been made in this past year or two.
Yeah.
That we're premiering all those films, and there's definitely a different. There's different films for everybody. We have documentaries, and then you have like web series. Now, you could talk more about the web series and TV. It's such a crazy industry.
Yeah, the
right
web
now.
series world now. It's so funny. It was a few years ago, and I was teaching at the Art Institute and things like that, and all the students. So I'm teaching at University of Tampa. All the students wanted to make what's that next? I want to make a feature film. I want to be a feature film director, and now all you're hearing from student filmmakers or people who are starting out in the business is web series. They want to make a web series. They want to make a web series, which is it's a much more realistic goal that coming out of film school or whatever to try and make a web series than a feature film. But just how the mind shift has changed, or the mindset has changed to that digital. That's the goal, is to create this digital content as opposed to wanting to go out and make like a big feature or whatever.
The big screen. Again, it's so hard to get your film on the big screen. And a lot of these filmmakers look at the festival as their opportunity to show their film on the big screen because. And especially, short films. This is very unlikely that they're going to be, at a big theater.
Yeah.
But We do have one right now that is playing in front of Colossus, right? Or is that
Colossal.
Colossal?
Yeah.
Five
So
films
the
about
Anne Hathaway film that's out right now, where Anne Hathaway fights a monster.
So I thought it was like amazing that this movie that we have, a short film, it's a 5-minute movie called 5 Films About Technology that I met.
It's really funny.
It is.
It is really funny.
I met the filmmakers at Sundance this year. We're showing it at the festival, but it's playing before, that movie at the Anne Hathaway film, like right now in theaters, all over the world.
And that never happens. As we all know, short films, you're either going to play at a film festival, and then at some point people just throw them up online. They're on YouTube, they're on Vimeo, they're wherever, and that's kind of how you watch them. There's not many opportunities for filmmakers to get their short films shown. Something else really cool that the festival is doing this year is they're actually, after Sunscreen wraps up, 2 weeks later, the Cannes Film Festival starts. And so Sunscreen this year is going to have a Sunscreen short film showcase where 10 select films from Sunscreen Film Festival are actually screening at the Cannes Film Festival in a special screening. So, they're not in official competition, but they are, they've got a theater at the Palais, at the main, main theater at Cannes, where people that are attending Cannes Film Festival can go see these short films that have screened at the Sunscreen Film Festival, which is another just really cool thing that, not a lot of, there's a few festivals maybe around the world that do that. I know Hawaii Film Festival did that a few years ago at Cannes, and maybe a couple others, but not many. So it's a really cool opportunity for those filmmakers. And so that now if you're a filmmaker and you're short playing, you can literally go to the Cannes Film Festival and see your film.
That's amazing. There. Yeah, what an amazing experience. Yes, definitely. And Cannes coming up, May 17th?
May 17th to the 28th. So I'll be there with that, with the Film Commission. So in our next podcast, we'll talk a little bit about going into Cannes, and then when I get back, we'll talk a little bit about what the Film Commission's doing there. So, that's a lot to cover, I think, in one day. I think we did a pretty good job of running down the festival for this year.
A lot of material. Yeah, it's good.
So come out, check out the festival. You can go to the website, buy tickets, show up day of and buy tickets. There's a little bit of something for everybody. Joe, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you.
And we're gonna throw it over to Jacob now from the Film Commission office, who's gonna give you some tips and tricks on time-lapse videos.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me on the Whatever Show. Today we're doing a little tip and trick. We're going to not do an unboxing today, so instead we're going to just learn a little bit about what the iPhone can offer for different types of unique shots for photography and video. So pretty much for photography and video, we have a ton of different things that you can do with the iPhone. So you have the pano, like you can create a panoramic image by scanning the image across the screen or across your wherever you're at. You can also do video, you can do a slow-mo video, and you can also do a time-lapse. And today we're going to talk a little bit about time-lapses and how you can accomplish a really cool time-lapse effect on your phone. So the iPhone basically already has this integrated into your phone. You don't have to download any app or anything. It's just, as soon as you go to open up your camera, you'll first see that your photo is the first selection, and you're just going to scroll to the left here, all the way as far as left as you can to get to time-lapse. And so what you're going to want to have with the time-lapse is you're going to need a tripod. That's the only way that this is going to be successful, is if you have a steady picture that the phone is going to be taking. Otherwise, you're going to have really jumpy footage, and your time-lapse will have a second of a picture from this area and the second from over here, and it's just going to look all convoluted and kind of crazy. So one really easy way to set up for a time-lapse is just find your view, find whatever it is that you're looking for, and set the camera up in that direction, get your tripod set up, and then go ahead and click the time-lapse button. You really don't have an option for the speed on this phone. I imagine that there are apps out there that you can download, and you can have a certain amount of pictures taken per second, or whatever your rate is that you'd like to try to take those images. And so there's a lot of different really cool abilities out there. You can create a lot of awesome stuff like this. I imagine this was created with After Effects. You can create this cool panning effect where you start on one image and you're kind of panning out, and you're getting more movement involved with the image. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with time-lapse, and you can create a really dramatic image. And you can also, obviously, you can capture a sunset or clouds moving by, maybe 30 minutes of footage, and condense it down to about 30 seconds. So you can get some really cool footage out there. Feel free to leave a comment. Let us know if there's anything that you're looking for that you would like to learn about using the iPhone or any other types of camera or any types of film equipment out there. Just leave a comment and let us know. Thank you very much for joining. Back to you, Tony.
So thanks for tuning in again to, I believe that was our 6th episode of the Whatever Show, the St. Pete-Clearwater Film Commission podcast. Be sure to like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, put some comments in the bottom there, ask us questions. We'll respond to those questions in the next video. If you don't like it, tell us what you don't like. If you do like it, tell us what you do like. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.